In the land of the Pharaohs, life was centered around the gifts of the Nile. From the simplest meals to grand feasts fit for kings, the ancient Egyptians had a deep connection with their food and drink. Today, we will explore the heart of ancient Egyptian cuisine, where bread was the foundation of life and beer was the drink of choice. Welcome to Bread and Beer, Food and Drink in Ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, bread wasn't just a basic food. It was a symbol of life itself. The yearly Nile Falls deposited rich, fertile silt on the river banks, ensuring an abundance of grain, which was then turned into countless loaves of bread. Bread, often called the staff of life, was essential for every Egyptian. Whether rich or poor, loaves were made in many shapes and sizes, from simple round loaves to those intricately shaped like animals, symbolic of the gods they revered. Making bread was more than a daily chore. It was a communal activity that brought families and communities together. The grains, mainly emmer wheat and barley, using large stone mills. This flour was then mixed with water, kneaded by hand, and left to ferment naturally. Yeast, which was sometimes made from leftover dough, was added to help the dough rise, making it light and fluffy. The bread was then baked in clay ovens or in hot stones, and the smell of fresh bread baking was a familiar and comforting scent in every Egyptian village, signaling sustenance and life. Bread wasn't just for daily consumption. It held religious and cultural significance too. During festivals and religious rituals, special bread varieties were prepared to honor the gods. For example, ta. Bread was made in shape of animals or symbols that represented deities. Bread was also a common offering in tombs and temples, symbolizing sustenance in the afterlife and ensuring that the deceased would never go hungry. But bread wasn't the only delight for Egyptians. Beer was the drink of the masses. Brewed from barley and sometimes emmer wheat, it was nutritious, mildly alcoholic beverage that was safer to drink than water, especially in the marshy delta areas where water could be contaminated. This beer, thick and porridge-like, was consumed daily by both children and adults. It provided essential calories and nutrients, making it a crucial part of the Egyptian diet. From simple farmers to the pharaoh himself, beer was a cherished drink that nourished the body and the spirit alike. Feasts were a key part of Egyptian social life, often depicted in tomb paintings as grand events attended by both the living and the divine. These scenes show tables loaded with bread, beer, wine, fruits, meat, and sweet pastries, a glimpse into the afterlife Egyptians hoped to enjoy. Feasts were not just about eating, they were about connecting with loved ones, celebrating the gods, and enjoying music and dance. Even in death, Egyptians believed these joyous feasts would continue, providing comfort and happiness in the afterlife. While beer was drank for the common people, wine was reserved for the wealthy and powerful. Made from grapes grown in the fertile delta, Egyptian wine was a luxury, often enjoyed during religious rituals, banquets, and high-status gatherings. The wine was stored in large clay jars, sealed with mud stoppers, and sometimes aged for special occasions. During feasts, the wine was poured into elegant goblets and shared among the guests, adding a touch of sophistication and celebration to the event. The diet of ancient Egyptians was surprisingly diverse, ensuring that even the poorest had access to a variety of foods. Common fruits included figs, dates, grapes, and pomegranates, while vegetables such as onions, garlic, leeks, cucumbers, and lettuce were staples in their diet. Protein came from various sources, including cattle, goats, ducks, geese, and fish from the Nile. Honey and dates were used as natural sweeteners, adding flavor to their meals and serving as a key ingredient in desserts and offerings to the gods. Food was deeply intertwined with the spirituality and religion in ancient Egypt. Offerings of bread, beer, fruits, and meats were made regularly in temples to appease the gods and ensure the continued harmony of the universe. In tombs, scenes of food and drink offerings depicted on the walls symbolized the deceased's hope for eternal nourishment. These depictions were more than just art. They were believed to magically provide sustenance in the afterlife. While ancient Egyptian cuisine may seem distant, many of their dietary staples such as bread, beer, fruits, and vegetables are still enjoyed today. The methods of preparation may have evolved, but the essence of enjoying simple, wholesome food with the family and friends remains a timeless tradition that connects us to our ancient ancestors. As we wrap up our journey through the culinary world of ancient Egypt, remember that for Egyptians, food and drink were not just about survival. They were a celebration of life, culture, and spirituality, meant to be enjoyed both in this world and the next. Through their food, we gain insight into their values, beliefs, and their eternal quest for balance and harmony in the cosmos. Thank you for joining us on this enjoyable journey. Subscribe to Tales of Gold for more exciting stories from ancient Egypt. And until next time, may your days be as fruitful as the Nile.